The minimum export price, MEP, is a floor price below which a commodity cannot be exported. Removing it allows basmati rice farmers to sell their produce at any price in the international market. As per Section 5 of the Foreign Trade, Development and Regulation Act 1992, the central government may, from time to time, formulate and announce by notification in the official gazette the export and import policy and may also, in the like manner, amend that policy. Kharif sowing area, the area under cultivation for crops sown during the monsoon season, June to September, in India. Taj Dome leaks, ASI says no damage, only seepage. The Durand Line is the 2,670-kilometer border between Pakistan and Afghanistan, drawn in 1893. It's a source of contention because Afghanistan has never formally recognized it, claiming it divides Pashtun tribal communities. Health authorities in Kerala confirmed the death of a 24-year-old man from Vandoor, Malappuram, due to Nipah virus infection. Kerala's dense fruit bat population, combined with its agricultural landscape, increases the chances of human-bat interaction, making it more vulnerable to outbreaks. Nipah virus, NIV, is a zoonotic virus that spreads from animals, primarily fruit bats, to humans and can also be transmitted between humans. It causes severe respiratory illness and encephalitis and can be fatal. Nipah virus is diagnosed by testing samples of blood, cerebrospinal fluid, or throat swabs in laboratories like the National Institute of Virology, NIV, using polymerase chain reaction, PCR, tests. Two Indian Navy officers, Lieutenant Commanders A. Rupa and K. Dilna, are set to embark on a challenging blue water circumnavigation around the globe aboard the INSV Tarini as part of the Sagar Parikrama expedition. A blue water voyage refers to long-distance sea navigation, typically across open oceans, requiring exceptional seamanship, endurance, and skills. The officers are being mentored by retired Commander Abhilash Tomi, India's first solo circumnavigator and a hero of the Golden Globe race. Active Noise Control, ANC, is a cool technology used in headphones and earphones to help block out unwanted noise, like loud traffic or noisy firecrackers during festivals like Deepavali. It works using something called destructive interference, a science idea that cancels out sound waves. A small microphone inside the headphones hears the noise around you and creates an opposite sound wave, called an antiphase wave. This opposite wave cancels out the noise, so you hear less of it or none at all. ANC is more affordable in personal devices like headphones, but for bigger spaces, it takes more microphones and computers to cancel out sound. India's National Security Advisor, NSA, Ajit Doval recently visited Russia, where his meetings with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi took center stage. The meetings were held ahead of the upcoming BRICS summit in October 2024, which will bring together leaders from expanded BRICS nations including Brazil, South Africa, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia. Signal modulation is a cool way to send information, like songs on the radio, over long distances using waves. There are three main types of modulation: AM, amplitude modulation, FM, frequency modulation, and PM, phase modulation. Each type changes a different part of the wave: how tall it is, amplitude, how close the waves are, frequency, or how the wave starts, phase. What is AM, amplitude modulation? AM changes the height, amplitude, of the wave to send information. If the wave is taller, it means something different than when it is shorter. What is FM, frequency modulation? FM changes how close together the waves are, frequency, to send information. When the waves are closer together, it means something different than when they are farther apart. What is PM, phase modulation? PM changes the starting point of the wave, like starting a step later than someone else in a march. It's used for sending information digitally, like with Wi-Fi. What is the difference between analog and digital signals? Analog signals are continuous and smooth, like a wave. Digital signals are like tiny steps or codes, using zeros and ones to send information. What's the difference between AM and FM on the radio? AM radio can reach farther distances and go over mountains, but it may have more noise. FM radio sounds clearer but doesn't travel as far and needs to be within line of sight. ESG, environmental, social, and governance ratings are becoming essential for businesses worldwide, including in India, as sustainable investing gains momentum. These ratings evaluate a company's performance on environmental, social, and governance factors, helping businesses benchmark against global standards. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, has taken steps to promote ESG disclosures through the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting (BRSR) framework and introduced guidelines for ESG rating providers to use a standardized 100-point scale. Sabina Shoal is a coral reef located in the South China Sea, within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone (EEZ). It is a disputed area claimed by both the Philippines and China. China claims almost the entire South China Sea, including the Sabina Shoal, based on its so-called 9-dash line, which has been rejected by international tribunals and is disputed by the Philippines and other nations. The Agricultural and Processed Food Export Development Authority, APIDA, plans to promote both the Indian alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages globally, targeting $1 billion in export revenue over the next few years as part of the Make in India initiative. As part of India's push to enhance its global beverage footprint, Godawan Single Malt Whisky, an artisanal whisky made in Rajasthan, India, is set to launch in the United Kingdom. Recently, the 127th anniversary of the Battle of Saragdi was observed on 12 September 2024. It is one of the greatest final defenses in world military history. On 12 September 1897, 21 soldiers and a non-combatant named Dad, who did menial works, of the 36th Sikh Regiment, now 4th Sikh, fought against over 8,000 Afridi and Orakzai tribal militants in the North-West Frontier Province, NWFP, now in Pakistan. Saragdi was a communication tower located between Fort Lockhart and Fort Gulista, two critical British forts in the NWFP. Originally built by Maharaja Ranjit Singh and later renamed by the British. Stubble burning emits toxic pollutants in the atmosphere containing harmful gases like carbon monoxide, methane, CH4, and volatile organic compounds, VOC. As per a research paper published in the Observer Research Foundation, the transport sector is the main source of PM2.5 emissions in Delhi, 28% of all PM2.5 emissions. SAFRA, System of Air Quality and Weather Forecast and Research, is a national initiative introduced by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, MOES, to measure the air quality for greater metropolitan cities of India to provide location-specific information on air quality in near real time by measuring the overall pollution level and the location-specific air quality of the city. It is an integral part of India's first air quality early warning system operational in Delhi. It monitors all weather parameters like temperature, rainfall, humidity, wind speed, and wind direction, UV radiation, and solar radiation. The World Meteorological Organization has recognized SAFRA as a prototype activity on the basis of the high-quality control and standards maintained in its implementation. Pollutants monitored PM2.5. PM10, ozone, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, NOx, sulfur dioxide, SO2, benzene, toluene, xylene, and mercury. Air Quality Index AQI. It is an index for reporting daily air quality. It displays the changes in air pollution in the atmosphere. It focuses on health effects one might experience within a few hours or days after breathing polluted air. AQI keeps a tab on 8 major air pollutants in the atmosphere, namely ground-level ozone, PM10, PM2.5, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ammonia, lead. There are 6 AQI categories, namely good, satisfactory, moderately polluted, poor, very poor, and severe. National Clean Air Program. The center had launched the National Clean Air Program in 2019 to address air pollution in 122 cities. These cities are referred to as non-attainment cities as they did not meet the national ambient air quality standards for the period of 2011 to 15 under the National Air Quality Monitoring Program. India celebrated Hindi Divas on 14th September 2024, marking the 75th anniversary of Hindi's adoption as the official language of the country. The Munshi Iyengar formula, a compromise between K. M. Mushi and N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, resulted in Article 343 of the Constitution adopting Hindi in the Devanagari script as the official language of the Union, while allowing English to continue for official purposes for 15 years. What are trilobites? What are trilobites? They are a group of extinct marine arthropods. Trilobite means three-part body in Latin. They first appeared around 521 million years ago, shortly after the beginning of the Cambrian period, living through the majority of the Paleozoic era for nearly 300 million years. They died out at the end of the Permian, 251 million years ago, killed by the end Permian mass extinction event that removed over 90% of all species on Earth.
सर मैं बता रहा हूँ दोनों बिल्डिंग जो है दोनों बिल्डिंग के साइड साइड एक मोर्चा था दो मोर्चा हो गया एक बिल्डिंग के पीछे था हाँ साइड में मोर्चे थे ठीक है मेन जो पैसेज बन रहा है ना दोनों के साइड साइड हो गया दो मोर्चा एक में एक पीछे मोर्चा था तीन हो गया एक कमांड पोस्ट के पास था जो एसएस और एक गेट पे पांच मोर्चा बस हम्म हाँ एक मेन गेट पे हाँ पांच मोर्चा था और अपना जो लाइन था उसमें अपना नाइट वाइट लगता था हाँ सर वो गुज्जर हॉस्टल नहीं था वही उसमें हम्म आपका तो कंपनी से ही आएगा ना ये उसमें डायरेक्ट लगती है। हम्म। हम्म। हाँ तो ले लेना गुजर हॉस्टल का, हॉस्टल खाली करो। बात करो। बीएसएफ जा रही है वही ले लेना पूरा। हम्म।
What are arthropods? Arthropods are invertebrates with a hard exoskeleton, a segmented body, and jointed appendages. They make up about 75% of all animals on Earth. Arthropods are divided into four major groups: insects, myriapods, including centipedes and millipedes, arachnids, including spiders, mites, and scorpions, crustaceans, including slaters, prawn, and crabs. A combination of Siddha drugs can reduce anemia among adolescent girls, according to a recent study. Siddhas were spiritual masters who had the 8 special abilities called Siddhis. Some of the 18 Siddhas were Nandi, Agasthyar, Agappai, Pumbatti, etc. The Siddha medical system is thought to have been started by Agasthyar, who is also known as Agastya. It is based on principles of Panchamhabhutam, 5 basic elements, 96 Thatuvas, principles, Mukkuttaram, 3 humors, and 6 Arusuve, 6 tastes. Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB also formulates the minimal national standards, MINAS, specific for various categories of industries with regards to their effluent discharge, water pollutants, emissions, air pollutants, noise levels, and solid waste. Recently, the 76th Primetime Emmy Awards were handed out at the Peacock Theatre in Los Angeles. The Emmy Awards are the most renowned accolades given to television and emerging media. Performances. Unlike Oscars and Golden Globe Awards, they aren't given for films. What is a Grammy Award? It is a series of awards presented each year in the United States by either the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences or the Latin Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. The Grammys, as they are commonly known, are meant to recognize spectacular work in the music industry. The Odisha government recently approved a proposal to transfer 95% of the equity shares of Gopalpur Port to Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited, APSIS. T is a deep draft, multi-cargo port located on the east coast of India in the mineral-rich state of Odisha. What are gorillas? Gorillas are the largest of the great apes. There are 5 species of great apes, including gorilla, orangutan, chimpanzee, bonobo, and human. Gorillas share 98.3% of their genetic code with humans, making them our closest cousins after chimpanzees and bonobos. Males acquire silver-gray saddles across their backs and upper thighs at sexual maturity, earning them the name silverback. Forest officials from the Palamu Tiger Reserve have informed the National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA, that Naxals have eaten into the reserve. Palamu Tiger Reserve, location. It is located on the western side of Latehar district on the Chota Nagpur Plateau in Jharkhand. The reserve forms part of the Betla National Park. It is one of the first 9 tiger reserves created in the country at the inception of Project Tiger. It is the first reserve in the world in which a tiger census was carried out as a pugmark count as early as 1932 under the supervision of J.W. Nicholson. 3 rivers, namely North Koyal, Auranga, and Budha, flow through the valleys. Karnataka recently marked the International Day of Democracy by forming a historic 2 500-kilometer long human chain as a symbol of equality, unity, fraternity, and participative governance. September 15th was chosen to coincide with the anniversary of the Inter-Parliamentary Union's Universal Declaration on Democracy, which was adopted in Geneva on 15th September 1997. After the Universal Declaration on Democracy, Qatar spearheaded the campaign to observe an International Day of Democracy at the United Nations. The first ever International Day of Democracy was held in 2008. Key Facts about Inter-Parliamentary Union. IPU is the International Organization of Parliaments. It was established in 1889 in Paris to promote representative democracy and world peace. The IPU facilitates parliamentary diplomacy and empowers parliaments and parliamentarians to promote peace, democracy, and sustainable development around the world. It was the first multilateral political organization in the world, encouraging cooperation and dialogue between all nations. Slogan for democracy. For everyone. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, PIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry is set to launch a groundbreaking digital platform Bhaskar. About Bhaskar platform, the Bharat Startup Knowledge Access Registry, Bhaskar, initiative under the Startup India program aimed at strengthening India's startup ecosystem. The primary goal of Bhaskar is to build the world's largest digital registry for stakeholders within the startup ecosystem. Calcium buildup in breast arteries detected by mammography might indicate a higher risk for heart disease, to research teams reported. Recently, about mammography, it is an X-ray imaging method used to examine the breast for the early detection of cancer and other breast diseases. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been granted bail in the CBI case registered with respect to excise policy. Furthermore, the court also remarked that the accused has the right to remain silent and right against self-incrimination as enshrined in Article 23 of the Indian Constitution. Concept of bail. Bail refers to the temporary release of an accused person awaiting trial on the condition that they appear in court when required. It is based on the principle of personal liberty and ensures that an accused individual does not have to remain in custody while the trial is ongoing unless necessary. The right to bail is governed by various provisions of the Constitution of India and Criminal Procedure Code, CRPC, 1973. Section 167 of the CRPC, which is generally termed as default bail, is also there in case the investigation is not completed within 90 days or 60 days depending on the severity of the offence. Types of bail. Regular bail. Section 437 and 439 of CRPC. This is granted after arrest and custody. The accused can apply for bail in a court where the trial is being conducted or in a higher court. Anticipatory bail. Section 438 of CRPC granted when an individual apprehends arrest for a non-bailable offence. It allows a person to seek bail even before being arrested, providing protection from detention. Default bail. A right to bail that accrues when the police fail to complete investigation within a specified period, 60-90 days depending on the crime, in respect of a person in judicial custody. Conditions for granting bail. Various conditions are kept in mind by the court while granting the bail, for example, the severity of the offence, the accused's criminal record, the risk of the accused fleeing or tampering with evidence, the well-being of the accused, such as health or age. However, the applicant has to ensure that the persons shall make himself available for the interrogation by police officer as and when required.
ठीक
That the person shall not directly or indirectly make any inducement, threats or promise to any witness. That a person shall not leave India without previous permission of the court. Any other precondition requested by the prosecution and agreed upon by the court. Any other condition set upon by the court. Researchers in the US have found a correlation between light pollution at night and the incidence of Alzheimer's disease. Exposure to artificial light at night is one environmental factor that could be a significant risk factor in causing Alzheimer's disease. According to recent research, light pollution near lakes inhibits zooplankton from consuming surface algae, leading to algal blooms that can kill the lake's vegetation and degrade the water's quality.
ठीक है तो
Entomologists from the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment, A3, recently discovered Onitis visthara in the Hesraghatta grasslands in northwest Bengaluru. Hesraghatta Lake is a Hamanmade reservoir located in the northwest of Bengaluru, Karnataka. It is a freshwater lake created in the year 1894 across the Arkavthi River to meet the drinking water needs of the city. Typhoon Yagi is the second most powerful storm globally in 2024 after Hurricane Beryl. The strength of tropical cyclones is categorized using the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale into 5 categories based on sustained wind speeds. The Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale is based on the highest wind speed averaged over a 1-minute interval 10 meters above the surface. The New Development Bank, NDB, established by BRICS in 2014 to provide development financing, has faced challenges in disbursing loans and identifying viable projects. The Contingent Reserve Arrangement, CRA, a pool of foreign exchange reserves, has not been tested yet. The food versus fuel dilemma refers to the conflict between using crops like sugarcane, maize, and soybeans for producing biofuels, ethanol, biodiesel, instead of for food, which can impact food supply and prices. The food versus cars dilemma is a similar issue where phosphoric acid, vital for fertilizers like the ammonium phosphate, DAP, is increasingly being used in lithium iron phosphate, LFP, batteries, which are gaining popularity in EVs. This shift could lead to shortages of fertilizers, affecting crop production and food security while supporting the growth of the EV industry. Commons are resources not owned by individuals, groups, or governments but shared by the community, such as forests, water bodies, and parks. These resources provide ecological and social benefits but are often at risk of overexploitation due to a lack of ownership. Historically, the tragedy of the commons suggested that only government or market control could prevent overuse. However, Elinor Ostrom's research showed that community-led governance is more effective in managing commons sustainably. 20th Maritime State Development Council, MSDC, in Goa concluded MSDC meeting addressed emerging challenges in maritime sector like establishing places of refuge for distressed ships and developing radioactive detection equipment at ports to improve security. Key initiatives launched at 20th MSDC are Indian Maritime Center, Policy Think Tank, Indian International Maritime Dispute Resolution Center, National Safety in Ports Committee application on National Single Window System platform, showcased innovative state-led initiatives, e.g. Kerala's monetization techniques for dredging, Gujarat's port-driven urban development projects, construction of India's largest dredger started at Cochin Shipyard Limited in collaboration with Royal IHC Holland, Mega Shipbuilding Park Plan across states, State Ranking Framework. International Telecommunication Union (ITU) releases Global Cybersecurity Index (GCI) 2024. GCI 2024 assesses country-level cybersecurity commitments across 5 pillars: legal, technical, organizational, capacity development, and cooperation. UNESCO made this call while highlighting that adoption of open science is limited by the black box, opaque nature of AI systems and private companies outpacing academic research in AI. About Open Science. UNESCO recommendation on open science adopted in 2021 defines open science, provides its core values and priority actions for it. Definition: Open science refers to an inclusive construct that combines various movements and practices aiming to make multilingual scientific knowledge openly available, accessible, and reusable for everyone. Issues with Lokpal. Vacancies. Lokpal yet to constitute prosecution wing headed by Director of Prosecution. Limitation of 7 years set by Act for filing complaints can prevent victims or whistleblowers from filing complaints after the initial offences have occurred. Center for Rural Enterprise Acceleration through Technology, CREATE. Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises has inaugurated CREATE setup in Leh. It supports and enhances local productivity, product quality, economic potential and improves livelihoods for the local communities. CREATE will provide Pashmina wool roving facility, training for development of production facility for essential oil extraction from roses and other flowers. Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services, INCOIS, has unveiled Integrated Ocean Energy Atlas. About Integrated Ocean Energy Atlas, it identifies areas with high potential for energy generation. It covers marine meteorological energy, solar, wind, and hydrological energy, wave, tide, currents, ocean thermal, salinity gradients. It will serve as reference for policymakers, industry, and researchers for harnessing rich energy resources available in Indian Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ. About INCOIS autonomous body under Ministry of Earth Sciences in 1999. It provides ocean data, information, and advisory services to society, industry, government and scientific community through sustained ocean observations. Iran launched a research satellite, Chandrayaan-1, into orbit. Chandrayaan-1 satellite aimed to test hardware and software systems for orbital maneuver technology. Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, successfully dismantled a virtual asset and bullion-supported cybercrime network through Operation Chakra 3, Phase 3. This operation was executed in close coordination with Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, of US. About Operation Chakra initiated by CBI in 2022, it is an Interpol-assisted global action to combat and dismantle organized cyber-enabled financial crime networks. India launched Operation Sadbhav to provide humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, Hadra, to Laos, Myanmar and Vietnam. The operation was launched in the wake of disasters caused by Typhoon Yagi. The first Hindi Divas was celebrated in 1953. It commemorates the designation of Hindi in the Devanagari script as the official language of India, also provided under Article 343 of the Constitution. The President of India presents the Rajbhasha Gaurav Puraskar and Rajbhasha Kirti Puraskar awards to ministries, departments, public sector units, citizens, etc. for their exceptional work in promoting the language. Engineers Day, 15th September, was observed to celebrate the birth anniversary of M. Visvesvaraya. Contributions: worked as Diwan of Mysore, now Mysore. The architect of the Krishnaraja Sagra Dam on the Kaveri River. Devised steel doors to stop the wasteful flow of water in dams. Established Bangalore Agricultural University, University Visvesvaraya College of Engineering, etc. Awards and recognition conferred: Knight Commander of the Order of the Indian Empire by the British in 1915. Bharat Ratna Award, 1955, ethical values, perseverance, honesty, scientific temper, compassion, etc.